All right, folks, we are back. BSL Group B. If you see the frozen screen, don't worry. It's not just you. It's us too. We are working to get this one back here shortly. But yeah, just run into a couple difficulties, but we are gonna get this back up and moving here shortly. But yeah, for those of you who are still joining us here. We got the winners finals of Group B here, Jimin versus Sziky. And this is game number 2 on Apocalypse. So yeah, we'll be jumping back into it shortly here. So yeah, we've kind of been saying it. This is a battle of the, middle of the road builds for the moment. Jimin opening with a kind of a standard 9-pool layer. Sziky opening with 12-pool Expo. Should have build order advantage versus Jimin's opener, but nothing is ever set in StarCraft.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, just gonna need a couple more minutes here, folks, and then we're gonna get back on track with our Zerg versus Zerg.
What did Doc Holliday used to say, Machine, during these little breaks? Go grab some snacks. Go get some treats.
Yeah. You know what? He did say
Get
that.
some
You're
pop.
so right, dude. He is so wise, man. Yeah, get some snacks. Get old hot dog or I don't know, anything you got. Just run to your fridge right now. Eat. Just keep eating. We'll be back. Whatever you have. Chips, donuts, you name it.
Yeah, especially for those that are a little bit frustrated right now. Just grab yourself a Snicker.
Yeah, dude. Perfect Snicker commercial idea. Oh my gosh. Dry, you're acting kind of hangry right now. Go grab a Snickers. I bet Zero's pretty hangry right now, man. If anyone needs a Snickers, it's probably Zero.
And when was the last time you ate something, Zero?
Today? I didn't eat for 1 day, so yeah, I am.
Oh gosh, you still have those cookies that you were munching on last week? Where are those cookies?
Yeah, I believe it too. I haven't eaten in a whole day. I'm sure you're just so nervous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Zero. Somebody send Zero a Snickers right now. Stat.
Yeah, and one to Zero's wife, who's in the hospital. And she was in the chat earlier, and unfortunately, the hospital that she's in after delivering a baby is not taking visitors, and therefore Zero was unable to go. So, if anyone is near Carolina, maybe she can get some food as well.
Yeah. Oh boy. Isn't taking visitors. Wow. All right, folks. I think we're going to be coming back here shortly. So great. Let's do it. Okay. All right, folks. We are back. And yeah, we are right back in it here. Looks like Jimin trying to engage into this natural. This is the common dance, right? Sziky not skimping on the drone pulls. I think Jimin came out ahead here.
Yeah.
Oh man, like a huge advantage. Sziky completely. I just got way too cocky by pulling away from those drones for so long.
Right.
And I don't know how Sziky can hold this. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean that hatchery will go down, and Jimin's sending. So, wow,
Yeah. Wow. What the turn of
wow.
events. We were just talking about how anything's possible, ZVZ, and how it's such a quick match. And
Holy moly!
Sziky, despite having the better build order, does drop the game
Yep,
to Jimin. So
you
well
called
done there
it.
from Jimin. Yeah, I don't know. That was luck. I was calling the opposite, to be honest, but it worked, I guess. So yeah. Oh man, crazy. And just like that, once again, tied up for the winners finals here. So very well done from Jimin, man, to go ahead and take that game. Um, but yeah, Sziky, obviously a competitor, someone who's had to deal with a lot of adversity. So I don't think he's going to be too phased by dropping, a game there to Jimin.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
being,
This.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, he won't be too phased. I wonder. He'll at least get map pick. Um, I feel like he'll pick like a 2-player map or something, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like the more confident players are picking 2-player map. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
not Ziki's first game 3, so definitely agree that this will, he won't be nervous or whatever. He won't be phased by it getting to game 3. But yeah, another game 3. Every series has gone to a game 3, so why not this one as well?
True.
And
True.
yeah, I mean, it's good to see Jimin be aggressive. That fits his profile. And honestly, I'd like to see his mutas at some point because his Ling micro is very good. His Hydro micro is very good. But yeah, not many people can just outmaneuver Sziky like that early game. So very impressive from Jimin.
Yeah, not at all. Man, I was very shocked to see, Sziky split the 3 drones. Like he had the appropriate amount of drones. Like anytime
Right.
you're being engaged with 9 pool, speed or no speed, ZVZ at your natural, you want to pull at least 3 drones. Seems to be like the magic number.
Yep.
He just split them up for a second, went to the minerals with the drones, pulled the lings out front, and then that's all it takes, ZVZ. So yeah, I think if he had kept them together for control, likely would have
Definitely.
changed the
Yeah.
scenario.
Yep. Can't blink in those instances.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, I lose plenty of games doing that exact same thing. So yeah, pretty tough. But with that, obviously that's going to be tied up, and it'll be Ziki's map choice here, going into game number 3. And suddenly we're in a position as well, man, where Jimin could take the group, right? Like he's 1 game away
Yeah, that's right.
from taking Group B. So very, big deal here for Jimin going into the round of 16, and not an easy group at all. So that's kind of big.
Definitely. Yep. So both players high. Got it.
Okay. Oh, you're fine. Yeah, we're ready to go whenever. Yeah. So I think we'll be jumping into game number 3 here of Sziky versus Jimin very shortly. Yeah. All right. And here we go. Spawning tops right side of Vermeer, I believe. This as the pink Zerg. We have StarCast Sziky.
Oh my gosh, is that pink? I would have said white.
Yeah, it's pink. It's pink. Yep.
Bottom right, we have ourselves spawning. Bottom right, Jimin. Blue Zerg, Korean American player.
Yep. Jimin with the overpool. All right.
Interesting.
I don't know how much you've heard me talk about overpool ZVZ, but I want to hear your thoughts. It's kind of a trick question.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you ever overpool ZVZ?
So overpool is like the worst build in ZVZ in my opinion. It's like worse than 12 pool because you don't have the advantage as much as far as like your second hatch timing. So in my opinion, overpool is like really, really bad. But I could be completely wrong. Like that's just my own
That was
opinion.
the right answer.
Is
That
it?
was
Okay.
100% the right answer.
Okay. Okay.
I see
Cool.
like really like high level Zerg still mix it in. No, you're absolutely right. Overpool is just. I don't call it a build ZVZ. You shouldn't like if you're doing Overpool ZVZ, you just shouldn't be doing it. But you're absolutely right. And
now the advantage of Overpool though, like specifically when does it make sense with Overpool? In my head, Overpool can play against 9-pool.
Yep.
And it plays more like, you know, one hatch versus one hatch, and then like ramp versus ramp. Maybe one makes speed lane, the other one doesn't, kind of situation. And then it's like, okay, Overpool might make sense. But here, Zyky's going for the second hatchery. It looks like an 11 hatch. So the Overpool is bad because it's not as fast as 9-pool, and it's not as economic as 12-pool. So this kind of position against a 2-hatch build, you know, just doesn't feel as good.
Not at all. It's a terrible build, especially I mean against anything other than 9-pool. You're absolutely right. Like it loses to 9 gas, it loses to, you know, any kind of hatch expand. It's I don't know. But you still see so many Zergs doing it, Jimin being one of them.
Now is that a second hatchery for Jimin?
Yep. Yeah, it is. He wants to just I guess go for some kind of like a Ling and Muta timing with that is normally what that means. So it's really hard to expand off of this. Just because it's really hard to afford with the second hatchery in the main, I feel like, especially after Overpool. So this is gonna get a little weird. Does have a drone advantage against Sziky, I'll say that much.
Sziky did invest in Link's speed, and he's just going to keep pressuring on. And I wonder if this backfire on him, because it's not like Jimin is not prepared for this, but
yeah, he's making a sunken in the main.
Yeah, right.
I mean, once that second hatchery gets online, he'll be able to produce a good amount of Zerglings to defend.
Right.
Actually, the sunken's delayed. I thought he made it right away, but no.
Oh, this is tight. This is gonna be tight.
The fact that he's even able to get this far and has an expo up, like Zyky's ahead. Sziky could have probably dove for one drone there, but yeah, it doesn't end up doing so.
But this spire timing from Jimin is fast. It's much faster.
It's definitely much faster. It's also a little vulnerable.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think he's going for. You're right. I think he's going for it.
Oh, Jimin made Lings though. He's sniffing this out. He saw the Overlord at the natural knew. So if he trades insanely well with the sunken, it could be the advantage he needs.
Yeah.
Or
definitely don't engage. Definitely don't engage.
Yeah, definitely don't let your Zerglings get surrounded out there.
Oh, man. Sziky can't go now. Oh, maybe he
shouldn't go. He shouldn't go. He still somehow traded that really well.
Yeah, really good trade there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just Sziky things, man. Drone count's good for Sziky. He's just keeping all these Zerglings here. Ooh. More Zerglings, man.
More Zerglings.
I knew he was going for some kind of a Ling Muta timing.
Right.
I mean, I guess that just makes sense with the second hatchery. I don't know, man. Is Sziky gonna lose? Man. Looks like he's even electing to get some static defense here. Okay, only one Muta, doing a little bit of harass. It's not much, it's just one Muta. So like if Sziky just makes Lings and Scourge, maybe he can hold with the sunken.
Yeah, and Jimin's supply blocked here, which is massive.
I wonder if Sziky ended up scourging an Overlord or something.
He must have, yeah.
I think Sziky could just pressure out with it. Yeah, he's just eating these Zerglings. Suddenly, big turn once again. It's only 2 Mutas, so they can't one-shot the... Oh, wow, he just kills the Overlord. Anyway. If you scourge too many Overlords, then, yeah, you're not able to deal with the Muta. Zyky's got to be a little worried here.
Yep. So we're going to see Jimin's Muta mic, and he's got the right number, right? That's enough to deal with this.
Definitely. Yep, does kill 2 drones instantly.
Massive.
That gives Jimin,
wow.
drone lead. And Sziky countering with the Zerglings. Oh, wow. Yep. I think Jimin's done it.
I think you're right.
I think he's already gonna, in a really strong position here. Sziky, though, does get some drone kills of his own. That's
3
insane.
drones.
It's
Yep.
exactly what he needed to do to stay in this game.
4 drones. Wow, he got that extra one at the mineral patch. So that's 4 drones down for Jimin.
Wow.
And mutas are up for Sziky. Wow, and flip of a dime, he was able to flip that with those lings.
It's all down to this. I mean, it's
Yep.
going to be one more engagement here. And
Yeah,
Sziky
this
just
is it.
staying over his hatchery, staying rallied. I mean, Jimin might try to counter with the Zerglings, but there is a sunken at the natural. Here we go.
Right.
6 muta for Jimin. Good engagement.
Oh, these
actually,
extras.
Sziky killed the Scourge with that first engagement, actually. Wow.
Yeah. Jimin's got more muta, but Ziki's got so many.
Yeah, he's got 2 more he's got to use. Shoot.
Oh, right. Now it's even muta count, and he's got the Scourge, so Ziki's got the lead here.
Wow. How does he do it, man? How did
Oh,
he
he's
turn
got
this?
5 muta.
Ooh, but he got Scourged.
He did get Scourged.
Yeah, he did lose 1 to Scourge there. So this
This
is still
tight.
hyper
This
close.
is tight.
4 mutas for both. Wow.
Right.
Drone count perfectly
Wow.
even. Actually, 3 more drones now for Sziky.
Yeah.
I feel like if Sziky just gets a spore in the main, he just wins. But maybe not. I don't know.
He can't. I mean, if he had the Evo at this point, I think he needs to.
Yeah, you're right.
He can't afford the spore. I don't think.
He would lose 2 drones for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you're right though. Jimin needs to. This is it for Jimin, because once Sziky gets that second gas, it's like the muta count is close enough where he'll have a window. Like this is the window now, and it's closing that window. But with the lings, he might be able to do like a combo, which Sziky isn't quite set up to defend like both fronts easily. So if Jimin just allocates everything to the nat here, and then flood lings into the main and try to split Ziki's attention, maybe. But wow, look at that dive from Sziky perfectly.
Huge engagement. Those Zerglings are going to tear up the natural, though. Sziky going to be forced to split, like you were saying. This is where things get tricky. Really needed to pull those drones from the natural earlier. Oh, that's big damage. And there's no sunken in the main, so like it's all in the mutas at this point.
Yeah.
Yep, muta's being pulled to the natural, but he knows that threat of a counter.
Jimin's sick. He didn't even engage with those lings. He'd rather just keep that threat open, and he's just keeping those lings outside the net. Like,
yeah,
really high level there.
Definitely the right call. But I mean, for Sziky as well, like
he's got more though. Sziky.
Yeah, he's got the natural up. He can. I mean, even if he throws 1 drone on that gas at the natural, like the threat of mining that gas is still there. Jimin's,
wow.
He's just got a hope. Yeah, but I think Sziky has Scourge. He's got 4 Scourge.
Right. Yep.
So he's scouting the counter pathway. That's
right.
Potential. Ooh,
lands 1.
That's big. Ooh, loses 2 Scourge. The 1 to the shot, 1 to the ricochet. Oh, never mind. Still alive. Ling counter. The threat's there.
Yep.
But I mean, Ziki's just kind of being patient, just so patient, which is tough to do in this spot.
Well, I think they both are just playing this really well. Like both kind of prying at these angles. Here comes the drone line now from Jimin.
Ooh, wow.
Ziki's on top of it.
Oh, and he's... Oh, man, who's going to win the muta engagement? Ziki's backing up, but he is ahead, and he has more Scourge.
Right.
I think he's kind of done it. He's stabilized the natural here. We're going to see one last push from Jimin, and he's going to need every Scourge to land to have a shot at this one.
Yeah, I think Sziky is really playing his main really well. Jimin might be better off like not doing this because Ziki's just ready for it. But okay, he's got the angle here.
Ooh, big connections from the Scourge.
Yeah.
Oh, but the mutas are in the mineral line. I mean, that's the entire mineral line mostly gone. This might prompt a complete counter from Sziky.
But smartly, yeah, he's mining a lot of gas now. He needs to take some off to mine minerals, but
I mean,
yeah.
maybe he's just going for some big scourge timing or something. I don't know. But oh, is that
Evo?
that if this spore gets up, this could be really bad for Sziky.
Yeah. If he's doing what you said, where he's banking the scourge, like this is it. And then it's like what he's gonna do against those 6 lings that are still out. Now Sziky did send the ling, but not far enough on the mini map, so he didn't spot those lings there. Yeah, Sziky's gonna go for it, and I don't know. I don't know if he has enough to beat the Mutas, Scourge, and the Spore, which he needs to do because he's down on drones right now.
Yeah, the spore is a great play here from Jimin
Yep.
to like sniff that out. Okay, so Sziky mutas, they're expecting a counter.
Right.
This is so weird, but he's completely backing up. Sziky will see the mutas though of Jimin. Oh, this is gonna get really weird.
But Jimin, oh wait, okay.
He made some big connects onto those muta, I think, with
Yeah.
Scourge. And yeah,
Okay.
whoa, look how many weak
Yeah.
muta those are. 4. Jeez. 4
Yeah.
within
So
one shot.
yeah. So Sziky there, he pulled his drones from his nat, and then he moved his Scourge, and that's why that happened. Jimin was focus firing against those drones, and then was a fraction of a second too late, I think, against those Scourge.
Yeah, just a fraction, but I mean that's why Sziky's so good, man. You can't ever look away.
Crazy. I love what Jimin's doing here with the lings, though, and I don't think this game is over yet, because there's still the presence of these lings.
There's still the presence of the lings, and the spore has not been scouted. So there may be a spot where Sziky mistakes and says like, "Oh, I think I have muta count advantage for sure. Let's go ahead and engage." And then he's not expecting to have to engage that spore.
Right.
And I mean, the longer this game goes on, the more those mutas for Jimin are able to regen too. So having weak mutas isn't as big of a deficit.
Right.
Oh, I like this from Jimin. He is going to expand, but it's
Ninja
not
base.
going to be the scouted, base. And he still, has that spore in the main. But Sziky's starting to do Sziky things and make drones, and that's really good for him. Obviously, he's just going to be able to once again establish this natural, mine additional gas, mine additional minerals. So yeah, I for a second there I thought Sziky was going to do that counter, and I think with the spore that would have been very scary. But now Sziky feels like has a full advantage once again.
Yeah. Yeah, all the while Jimin's been poking at this side, and Sziky's been multitasking, sort of covering his nat and using these Scourge to kind of deter these mutas. So both players really playing a very high velocity, multitasking kind of game, which makes me think that this isn't over until it's over. But as that second gas continues to run, it's like it gets much harder for Jimin to deal with the air threat.
For sure. You know, kind of a trait you were talking about from Sziky's last series, the ZVP. He just doesn't feel like he has to attack, and it's the right call. It's the right call every time. He's like, why would he risk engaging a spore that he doesn't even know is there,
right,
when he could just sit back? And time after time, Jim is just coming to him. So, he'll have the advantage of the rally. He just has more mutas because he's Sziky. Big engagement there. Nice scourge.
Wow. This is a lot closer than I thought. How the heck is it this close? What the heck is happening?
He's got muta as natural he didn't group up with. Yeah, or scourge it looks like. But yeah. Oh no.
Oh man.
Wow.
Sziky's got 900 gas.
Yeah, he's got so much gas just not spent. Oh, he turns it
there
though.
You go.
Yeah. So I'm sure he was feeling like that was a little closer than he was expecting right there, but he's just got to spend the gas at this point, and he'll be fine. And we actually see him pull drones off natural gas,
Yep.
so
Yep.
he's recognized it. He's like, I just got to spend my gas, and I'm good. So yeah, once again, defensive. There's just no reason to attack. He's got a natural. Jimin does not have a natural, so just no pressure. Just there's no reason to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even feeling confident enough to get a sunken, he knows the Zerglings are inevitable from Jimin. He's just going to keep countering with them. So
Right.
sunken is a worthwhile investment. Even pokes the Zerglings before they have a chance to run into the natural and detect the sunken. So yeah, very well done here from Sziky.
Now, this passive style that Ziki's doing is allowing Jimin to try to take his nat. He still has that ninja drone at the 7 o'clock position, but I think it makes sense for him to try to take his nat as far as how he traded against those mutas. But yeah, I mean, 2 gas, Sziky now mining it again, still has a very sizable bank. So as this game goes,
very sizable bank. Jimin is at least getting his natural up. Maybe if he's able to get a spore at the natural, this can continue in a
yeah,
favorable way for Jimin. If nothing else, he has a hatchery count advantage over Sziky.
right.
It's his only advantage, but he does have one. And
Oof.
yeah, Sziky just scouting out the timing. He's not going to let a spore get up. Big cloud of Scourge with some very good connects there. And
GG.
GG is called. And with that, man, Sziky going to be first to walk out of Group B on top. So very well done from him. Yeah. That was a spicy game. I was happy with that one for sure. Like there
Yeah,
was
a
a
lot
couple
of back and
moments
forth.
yeah, tons of back and forth. There's a couple moments there where I really thought Jimin had it.
Same. I was shocked that he even won that muta skirmish, not the last one, but the one that was big, and it just, I guess, is a testament to how good his mutas are, and his macro and all of that, because he was at a disadvantage. Sziky was mining 2 gas, and I was expecting the Sziky just run him over when Jimin pushed up to his main, but somehow, some way, he was able to not convincingly win, but for him to come out, with Sziky retreating, I was shocked to see that. So, lots of props to Jimin in sort of reacting to what Sziky was doing, and obviously a build order disadvantage there against the 11 hatch.
For sure. Yeah, very, very well done there. I wasn't expecting that either. But yeah, does manage to get it done. So well done from Sziky there. Jimin still in it, obviously. Still has a chance to walk out of this group in second place. But that's going to be dependent upon our next match, which is going to be RaNgeD facing off against Dienmax in a PvP. So yeah, should be good.
All right.
Sorry, what was that? I'll take a 5-minute break. Yeah.
Yeah, let's break Zero.
All right, folks, we're going to go for a short break here real quick before we get in to our next match. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so with some more BSL action. So see you then. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to BSL19 Group B. I'm Machine, and we are back with our losers match for the day for Group B. It's actually going to be RaNgeD facing off against Dienmax in an epic PvP on Radeon. So, yeah, without further ado, I think we'll be ready to jump into this match here pretty shortly between these two. For those of you who've been tuning in, Sziky just ended up winning winners finals versus Jimin in a pretty epic ZVZ series. It was a nail biter. So yeah, now we get to see a completely different matchup between two of the best Protosses, in ProLeague so far. So RaNgeD, the North American Protoss, definitely. I could say he's quite good PvZ. I'm not sure if PvP is a matchup that he would say he favors, and I'm not as familiar with his PvP style, but nonetheless going to be a very good competitor here, as well as Dienmax. Like Dienmax, definitely a little trickier, especially for PvP. He's a player who will throw out things like a proxy gate or DT openers, but can play a very solid, Robo Reaver style as well. Map 1 going to be Radeon, an old favorite here. 4-player map, big map, great map to see how these two players choose to play this game 1 PvP. And yeah, without further ado, both of our players are ready, folks. Let's go into game number 1 of this losers set, RaNgeD versus Dienmax. And spawning top left as the red Protoss from North America, we have RaNgeD. And spawning bottom left as the yellow Protoss from Peru, we have Dienmax. So both players spawning vertical positions from each other. I guess just off the top of my head, I'm not the biggest expert on PvP, but this will be a little bit of a further distance from natural to natural for both these folks. So I'm kind of interested to see who's, if someone will choose to skip Zealot at this point, just given the positions and who's going to scout where first. I did call out that I know Dienmax is a player who, given the proper map, will get away with, will opt for something like a proxy gate opener. Not going to be the case here. First pylon going down inside the main. 1 gate opener from each of our players here so far. So nothing out of the ordinary. Likely going to be throwing down Vespian geysers here. And actually, we already see RaNgeD with definitely the faster assimilator. And Dienmax going for a 2-gate here. So this is going to be the first fork in the build here from both of our players. Yeah, I do like 2-gate openers. When I think 2-gate, I actually think Boneth is probably a player that opens up 2-gate PvP more so than a heavy majority of the foreign Protosses, I'd say. And it's because he's able to just get away with such good control and so many units early on. Ooh, RaNgeD not going to skip first Zealot. That's a pretty good call on his part so far. Because, yeah, if you skip that early Zealot, especially against a 2-gate, sometimes it's just game over. It could just be GG.
Let me jump in, Mr. Machine. Everyone can hear me. I wanted to ask
Sounds
you,
good, Papa Zero.
Pylon blast the mining?
Yeah, I think it does. Boost the mining? No, I was thinking that. Yeah, I guess it does. Wow. Yeah, it looks like that top probe is boosting a little bit. I'm less familiar with the Protoss boosts, but I think maybe that one's boosting it a little bit.
Why that they don't do it always, right?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It's kind of like what I was talking about earlier with even pool placements for
Sziky, right?
for Zergs. Yeah, I'm not sure why players aren't doing it, because I know Sziky knows about it, right? But he's so smart, and he's such a studied player that watches the best players in the world play. I'm not sure why.
I was listening to you guys, and I couldn't find the one argument why they do it. So yeah, it's hard to think, but maybe we should wait for the finals and wait for the finals with Sziky and ask him that in the interview. But okay, I'm muting myself and not interrupting anymore.
Oh, you're fine. No worries. All right, but yeah, I'm genuinely not sure why as well. That 2-gate pressure is coming out here from Dienmax, but oh, he does end up snapping one probe there. Very well done. Not sure, like in general, how worth it this is going to be. Dienmax does have a worker lead, but also a supply deficit at the moment with those zealot pickoffs. Second gateway on the way, and definitely faster range from RaNgeD. No pun intended there. So RaNgeD should be able to have map control now with these 3 Dragoons. Will have the faster range being researched. But yeah, I'm not sure where this is going to go from there. It looks like a couple extra pylons even being produced by RaNgeD inside the main. Still, good pressure out of Dienmax. Great job just kind of throwing his Protoss opponent off at the start of this one. We also see a Nexus being built here from RaNgeD, so he, kind of sticking to that defensive style he's really known for versus Zerg. Now, I gotta say, I've watched enough PvP to know one of the most difficult things you can do in PvP is hold an expansion. It is so common to do about 5 different one-base timings and try to just run your opponent over with Reaver, with Master Goon, with Zealot Legs, DT openers, that it's a lot of the times very risky to try to hold an expansion. So RaNgeD obviously feeling pretty confident to even try to open up with that Nexus at this point. And we'll see if it's the right call. I'm not sure. Okay, great scouting there from RaNgeD. Does see the initial move out of 6 Dragoons of Dienmax. Dienmax chasing. If he gets on top of one of these Dragoons, that could be, pretty good for him, but just not able to do so. Yeah, this is 8 Dragoons now from Dienmax moving out. And RaNgeD has to expect it, right? Anytime you're taking an expansion, you're likely making a battery. Actually, no battery. Does have more efficient mining, although less probes at this point at 25 workers. Has a robo and a support bay of his own, so suddenly RaNgeD absolutely has the better build, as long as he's able to hold this with the Reaver. And I'm surprised we're not seeing anything build out of this robo here from Dienmax, unless he already believes he's maybe too late with his timing to pressure. So Dienmax is hiding that small group of Dragoons to the left side. RaNgeD, I believe, has an observer just about to move into the main and natural here of Dienmax. So yep, observer does scout the natural, sees that Dienmax is going for an expansion of his own. However, RaNgeD has had a Nexus fully up and operational in his own natural for quite some time now. Probe count is soaring, actually to even, which is a pretty big deal, given Dienmax still has more build time on that natural Nexus. Ooh, but this could be a big snipe. Actually, it is. So Dienmax able to kill off that early observer of RaNgeD, opens up a few different opportunities here. Could be a counter opportunity, and actually we'll use the darkness on the map to take a 3rd Nexus at the 6 o'clock high ground. That's crazy from Dienmax. We were just talking about how difficult it is to even hold 1 expansion, let alone 2 in PvP. I'm very shocked at this opener from Dienmax, but we'll see if it's the right call here. This might just be like a personal read from Dienmax. I feel like RaNgeD is definitely you know, known for being a stoic player. Kind of, he'll sit back. He's very confident to get into, you know, any kind of a macro battle with whoever it may be. It's a strong suit of his. So this might just be a solid read here from Dienmax. But yeah, Dienmax might be getting some Dragoons caught here. RaNgeD is aware now, starting to group the majority of his forces and push out with this Shuttle Reaver. And Dienmax actually going for a collapse at the same time. Needs to be really careful with this shuttle. And actually, Shuttle Reaver is spotted with that observer. So this is, wow. But actually, RaNgeD doing a great job protecting this Reaver. Dienmax is just relentless with the flanking Dragoons. This is scary if you're RaNgeD. He's fully surrounded now. He's got to back up. You can't even engage the natural. He needs to make sure he's working in tandem with these Reavers, which he's currently not. So, yeah, very nice trade there from Dienmax. And with that, I mean, RaNgeD has to know he's just going to be forced to back up. So Dienmax, wow, like doing a great job here. Successfully does hold both the natural and the third base, don't forget, from RaNgeD here. And suddenly RaNgeD will be on the back foot. I mean, he hasn't lost anything significant other than maybe that, if you want to say, the early observer. You know, has managed to keep the shuttle alive. The shuttle hasn't sustained significant damage. It's more so the potential of Dienmax's third base that's really been... Oh, no! Oh, he does manage to keep that alive, but that was very risky there. I'm almost surprised he's not going to just move back and try to heal that up with the shield battery. But he did manage to trap out quite a few Dragoons here from Dienmax. This could be really bad for Dienmax if RaNgeD takes this fight slow and methodically. Okay, looks like Dienmax wants to fight. A little surprised by that. Just given the count. And yeah, RaNgeD is going to kill quite a few Dragoons here. Basically for free. Yeah, this is really good for RaNgeD. Really, really solid for RaNgeD. So, you know, now it's Dienmax is trying to make the most of what he's got. RaNgeD, you know, Dienmax is going to try to counter, it looks like, but RaNgeD is hip to it, making a scouting pylon in the center of the map to anticipate the counter. And actually RaNgeD even grouping up some additional forces top right. Yeah. Wow, this is crazy. You know, meanwhile though, Dienmax is mining off of a third base this entire time. So despite the trade going in, you know, RaNgeD's favor, and RaNgeD does have a supply lead, eventually Dienmax will catch up if RaNgeD sits back for too long. But I think this is maybe the timing that RaNgeD has been looking for. We're seeing quite a few red units group up towards the center of the map, likely just trying to consolidate his forces from top right, and group up with his shuttle, group up with the Reaver, and will likely just be going in for an attack here after that. Okay, catches more Dragoons out from Dienmax top right. And this time, though, the Reaver's able to join in on the fight. Just scaring more Dragoons off, it looks like. These are really weird run-bys. I'm not used to seeing this so much PvP, but yeah. And actually, and even a counter on the third base of RaNgeD with quite a few Dragoons. RaNgeD does manage to cancel that Nexus, though. But Reavers have been pulled into the natural here. RaNgeD still doesn't know about the third base. Ooh, big connects on those Reavers. That was huge from RaNgeD. So RaNgeD definitely winning the Reaver war. Oh my gosh, the second Scarab didn't blow up. That's crazy. So these are full health, or mostly healthy Reavers here from RaNgeD. But yeah, RaNgeD's forces actually going to end up flanking this with another large group of Dragoons, it looks like. And Dienmax just buying time at this point. Maybe, if that third base can kick in somehow, if he's able to get 1 or 2 more Reavers out and a shuttle, he could possibly hold this, but it's going to be a tough hold here, either way, from Dienmax. And here we go, 4 Reavers from RaNgeD. Great splitting, using the shuttles very intelligently to kind of mitigate some of those scarab shots. And yeah, Dienmax pulling the probes from the natural. Good call. I don't think he was going to be able to hold this. He's got a few more Dragoons in the center. He might be able to use to flank this. And yeah, here they come. But additional reinforcements as well coming in for RaNgeD. RaNgeD also taking his third base finally at the same time. But nice Scarab shot there from Dienmax. Does take out one of the 2 Reavers. So it's getting a little closer here. Oh, but Shuttle's still alive as well. RaNgeD just doing a great job getting maximum efficiency out of these Reavers here. And yeah, still has a sizable force knocking on the door of Dienmax's natural. Just seeing that constant flow of red here from RaNgeD's main. Big Scarab connects on all 5 Dragoons there. And at least for the first time here, Dienmax has Reaver advantage. There is no Reaver remaining from RaNgeD here. Nexus falls. And RaNgeD's own third base finally coming online here at the 15-minute mark. So Dienmax will hold, but not before some very clutch trading here from RaNgeD. RaNgeD, I don't know if he knows about the third base of Dienmax. Maybe he does? Oh, yeah, he does now. Observer does scout it. And yeah, it looks like Dragoon Reaver pushing in here to the 6 o'clock base. Actually opting to just completely back up, which might be the right call here. Ooh, a couple cannons at that third base. At least going to buy a little time against those Dragoons. Photon cannons, not very good against Dragoons, so it's going to be a little frustrating here for RaNgeD, but they do buffer. So good buffering. At least allowed some of these probes to stay alive a little longer. But yeah, Dienmax, once again with this trading tactic, he's just countering constantly with small to mid to large groups of Dragoons here. And yeah, looks like RaNgeD grouping up quite a few of his own Dragoons here. As well as Dienmax just hiding in the shadows with his own at the center of the map. Just preparing to counter, probably. I think that's, honestly a good call. Anytime you're a little behind, it's genuinely not smart to engage head on. So you want to just kind of counter, and give yourself opportunities to get back into it. Like a shuttle pickoff or something like that. But not quite able to do that here. Oh no, all of these probes being caught out here now from Dienmax, so it's kind of a tell. I mean, that 6 o'clock base of Dienmax also only defended by 2 cannons. So RaNgeD, if he recognizes that, could be able to kind of press into 6 o'clock and take advantage of it. Observer falls there for Dienmax. And yeah, it's just so much Protoss here from RaNgeD. Big Scarab connects. Dienmax does snipe the shuttle, but that's about all he was able to really snipe here. Reaver of Dienmax gets 1 good Scarab off. 2 good Scarabs, looks like. And GG is called there. So RaNgeD going to take game 1 of this losers match versus Dienmax, and a pretty close series for the game so far. I really like the attempt to take such an early third base from Dienmax. I think maybe if he had a shuttle or battery at the natural, he might have got away with it. But RaNgeD just playing very slow, very methodical, very solid Protoss versus Protoss. Was able to kill off so many of those countering Dragoons early on. I feel like it you know, he was just able to trade so well against those that it kind of gave him an advantage he could run with from then on. So very well done there from RaNgeD for sure. Yep. But yeah, Dienmax not out of this yet. He's gonna have a chance at map choice here, and yeah, he's just gotta. He can't drop another game in order to kind of come back in this series here and have a shot at making it out of Group B. So yeah, RaNgeD, as you can see there, 1-0. Winner of this match, obviously going to be facing off against Jimin, who fell to Sziky in a close series 2-1 in the winners finals. So yeah, and you know, when we get to that match, it's going to be Vermeer as map 1 for, you know, the final match of the group. But yeah, with that, that was Radeon. Now it should be Dienmax's map choice. Sure hope you know, he's able to pick maybe a solid map for his style. I did like that he opened up with 2-gate there. And yeah, actually, it's going to be another 4-player map, which also great for 2-gate openers as well. It's that deja vu we were talking about, where aggression in the middle of the map is really kind of favors you. But yeah, with that, both of our players are ready, folks. Let's jump into game number 2 of RaNgeD versus Dienmax on Deja Vu. And spawning top right as the yellow Protoss from Peru, currently down 0-1, looking to make that comeback. It is Dienmax. And bottom right, spawning as the red Protoss, it is Austin King, aka RaNgeD. And yeah, I guess if the previous game was any indicator, you know, RaNgeD here really plays very standard, very middle the road kind of builds PvP. I wasn't surprised to see, you know, the early Robo. Was a little surprised at that Nexus timing at the natural, but it ended up being completely fine. I don't think, you know, Dienmax even really pressured it, to be honest with you. Maybe just because the 2-gate pressure was thwarted so well early on. But I would expect to see more of the same. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like just gateway at the natural here. 10-gate. No, actually, the Dienmax going to be scouting here much earlier with a fast probe. Wonder which way he's going. It almost looks like he's scouting cross map, which is interesting. Usually you kind of do this if you're doing a 2-gate opener. But oh, no, it's not going to be cross map. He's going bottom right with his probe. And we also see gas inside Dienmax's main as well. Slightly behind RaNgeD, but no big deal. So there we go. I think that was core down here for RaNgeD. Starting to mine that Vespian Geyser inside his main. Be interesting to see if maybe he ends up skipping the Zealot. Might be a good call. If your opponent opens 2-gate game 1 and it doesn't work out, skipping the Zealot after that is as good a gamble as any, I'd say. But yeah, another pylon going down here for RaNgeD, just on time. I believe he, yeah, I think he skipped the Zealot, which I think is a good call here, but not sure yet. Nope, he didn't skip it. I lied. Dragoon being produced here from RaNgeD. And meanwhile, Dienmax just kind of scouting, you know, has full scouting control of the main. RaNgeD still has no idea what he's up against. Will unfortunately get the last scout on Deja Vu 4-player map. Not that he should be concerned about anything, but I know if you're, you know, given the last game state, he might be concerned about 2-gate here, which we obviously know isn't happening. But yeah, first Dragoon out here for RaNgeD. will be able to push that initial probe of Dienmax out, if not kill it. And yep. Oh, did he trap the Dragoon with the pylon? That's so funny. He just trapped the Dragoon with a pylon behind the mineral line. I have not seen that. That's really funny. But I mean, kind of cool. I guess it just wastes a little bit of pressure time. Oh, it's DT out of Dienmax. Jeez. That's pretty big. You know, he's gonna need to make sure he has a robo here early on, or at least a forge, obviously, to have any chance of detecting this. And given last game, right, we saw such an early nexus out of range that maybe that's what Dienmax is thinking. Like, okay, I know you like to play passive. I know you like to grab an expansion here early on. If you do that, I'm gonna kill you with DT, which, I mean, he very well could. I haven't seen a robo yet out of RaNgeD, so it could be likely, honestly. But we'll have to wait and see. Oh, there is a robo! Oh, if he really gets on top of building observers right now, he might have a shot at defending, but I believe the first DT is on the way. So, oh man, is he gonna do it? We'll have to see. Okay. But yeah, Dienmax here does take an expansion off of DT, is walking across the map with that early DT, and it's just about to get to the ramp here. Starting to put some pressure. RaNgeD trying to, I guess, defend, you know, by just kind of blocking the way, allowing some damage from this early DT. The DT actually chasing the Zealot, a little bit of a mistake here. This might buy some additional time for this Observer to get out. And yes, the Observer's out, I mean, just in the most miraculous nick of time. But it's split! There's a second DT at the oh, okay, RaNgeD knows. So he will lose a probe for it. But yeah, that's big. Even gets away with a probe pull. So, you know, nice advantage there from Dienmax. At least this is doing some economic damage, you know, despite the Observer timing. And actually, RaNgeD going to take his own natural at the same time. So if this does work out in his favor here, RaNgeD should have a timing to pressure and maybe cancel Dienmax's own natural. And yeah, it looks like DT counter is coming in once again from Dienmax to that natural, but there's already a Dragoon and an Observer in waiting. So very nicely managed here from RaNgeD. Is moving in with DTs into Dienmax's own natural. Oh no, misswipes the Nexus, doesn't get a probe kill there. And yeah, suddenly, actually, that's a good amount of Dragoons here from Dienmax. It looks like Dienmax will be able to hold. Kind of surprising given the opening. And, I mean, game looks pretty tied up for the most part. Dienmax likely going into Storm Tech just to make use of that Citadel and Archives, whereas RaNgeD will likely get into, I'm assuming Reaver Tech here, but I also see a Forge inside the main, and Citadel, Templar Archives, so maybe he's going into DT drop of his own? That would be crazy, actually, but probably a good call. And here comes Dienmax. He's gonna pressure with his Dragoon Force. Looks like RaNgeD has what he, you know, a good amount of Dragoons to defend. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, even making a wall. I wonder if, I think that's a battery, likely from RaNgeD to defend here. So good positioning on these Dragoons. Here comes Dienmax though. That is a lot of Dragoons. Probes even being pulled here from RaNgeD. And yeah, DT of his own. There is absolutely no detection here for Dienmax. Big probe surround. I mean, Dienmax did an exceptional job targeting down the Dragoons, but the probes were really able to just kind of hold everything there. You know, obviously now he's losing, you know, a few probes for in the defense, but the Dragoons are at least buying some time, you know, for these DTs. And yeah, 2 more Dragoons running into the natural here of RaNgeD, and RaNgeD now forced to fully pull all of the probes at his natural. 1 Dragoon popping in here with the 2 Dark Templar, and Dark Templar are forced to walk back now. It's kind of the nice thing about PvP is, like, even if you have that tech loss advantage, if by countering you can buy so much time from the Dark Templars that in itself will just defend your natural and your main. So very well done there from Dienmax. And yeah, more aggression. He's just running across the map now with Dragoons. And RaNgeD, just as he's trying to reestablish his own natural once again, going to be forced to pull more probes. So yeah, Dienmax is really doing it, man. He's doing a great job here just by being constantly aggressive. And GG is called. So now the series between these two is actually tied 1-1. It's still anybody's game here for Group B. But yeah, Game 3 will decide, you know, between these two. I liked what both players did there. I liked, you know, RaNgeD defense of the initial 2 Dark Templars. He maybe lost, you know, a Zealot, a Probe, and a Dragoon or something like that to do 2 DTs, whereas but wasn't able to really get any counter damage done. At the same time that Dienmax was engaging, you know, with those Dark Templars, he was taking a natural of his own. He was preventing RaNgeD from taking his own natural, and managed to basically have a good hold, and then just stepped on the gas pedal with his aggression. So it ended up really working out for him there. But yeah, with that, it's all down to Game 3 now. Should be RaNgeD map choice for game number 3 here. We've seen 2 4-player maps so far in the previous 2 series, or previous 2 games. So I'm kind of interested to see what RaNgeD might pick for a Protoss versus Protoss at this point. If he has like a favorite, obviously in both these games so far, he's chosen to expand. Maybe, you know, the last game not earlier than Dienmax, but still fairly early, and definitely did the previous game. But yeah, it's all tied up here, 1-1 between these two. And next match will determine who moves on to the losers final of Group B to face off against Jimin. And all right, and map going to be Radeon here. So both of our players are ready to go, folks. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 3 on Radeon. And spawning bottom left side as the white Protoss on Radeon, we have BSL RaNgeD. And spawning bottom right from Peru, we have BSL Dienmax. I like that we've kind of seen 2 different openers out of Dienmax in both of these games. Not really giving away any favoritism for build orders at this point. It's going to make him a little less predictable, especially in a Game 3 situation here. Whereas we have seen the exact same build order from RaNgeD for 2 games in a row. Both players with a very early scout, and both players... Oh, I was going to say both players going to scout each other early, but... Oh no, unfortunately it's not the right call here from Dienmax. He's going to end up going top right after scouting the middle, whereas RaNgeD going to get a very early scout bottom right. And we'll know exactly what Dienmax is up to, which is exactly what he's doing. So likely, RaNgeD will end up skipping first Zealot here, which will be a slight advantage to him. Dienmax scouting top right, recognizing, hey, my opponent's not there. He's, however, has gotten a very early scout, so he's likely bottom left, and we're seeing Dienmax's probe moving that way to scout. Oh yeah, this is Pantheon. Someone pointed out in chat. So yeah, thank you. You're absolutely right. This is Pantheon. I was thinking Radeon at first, but should be cool. So big difference on this map is that no ramp, well, no high ground main. So Zealot pressure can be a little more devastating and more difficult to defend on this map as opposed to you know, something like a Fighting Spirit or any other more standard map where there's a high ground main. So kind of an interesting call out there. Getting range faster. Once again, no shocker. Dienmax, however, 2 Zealots opener because of the late scout and no range. So he's obviously got some tricks up his sleeve here. What could this be? This could only be, you know, 1 or 2 things. Maybe that's range that he's up researching. Maybe that's fake range. You know, maybe he's going robo. But nope, it looks like it's just range attack. So yeah, both players researching Dragoon range at this point. Dragoons in production. Both players at 19 probes. So yep, all, you know, fairly standard stuff except for, I'd say, the 2 Zealot opener that Dienmax probably didn't want to have to do. It's more just being overly prepared. Second gateway in production there for Dienmax. However, RaNgeD already had that second gateway and is starting Dragoon production quite a bit earlier than Dienmax. So I want to say RaNgeD at a slight advantage. If you can skip those Zealots, you would always choose to. Robo now down for both players, no shock there. It's kind of just the simple, safe, standard build, you know, in PvP. Get a couple gateways, get your Robo up, and produce some observers and reavers, and go from there. So we'll have to see if maybe there's a deviation in the build. You know, given what RaNgeD faced last game, I wouldn't be surprised to obviously see an observer first, just to be safe, in case it is another DT opener from Dienmax. However, if you're Dienmax and you're playing range and you just know there's, I mean, almost no chance your opponent's opening DT, maybe you just go straight Reaver? I don't know. Could just go Reaver Expo or something. But either way, it looks like RaNgeD here gonna opt to get a little aggressive. It's gonna be 5 Dragoons versus 5 Dragoons and 2 Zealots. So yeah, this is gonna force him to back up here fairly quick and see, okay, Dienmax has really been on top of his gateway production, has, you know, equivalent Dragoon count plus a couple Zealots, likely is going to be expecting some pressure here. No Nexus yet out of range at the natural. Is building that pylon though, and does have a probe in position to do so. We know it's Observer, at least to start off. Observatory's been hasn't been scouted yet though. And Nexus is down. So yeah, RaNgeD probably just feeling pretty happy in the state he's at. A couple Zealots of his own have been produced. Reaver underway. Robo support bay for Dienmax as well, with Reaver in production. So this is what I was talking about earlier. He's just kind of skipped that first observer. I don't think he really anticipates any DTs out of RaNgeD, and it's going to allow him to get a slight timing advantage, maybe. It's very difficult to do so, but you know, we're seeing no Nexus at Dienmax's Expo. constant unit production, and a quicker Reaver. So yeah, he definitely wants to pressure. First Reaver is out though from RaNgeD. If Dienmax oversteps here, this could be pretty bad for him. He's got the battery. I'd like to see him heal up that Zealot. Maybe saving the shield for Reaver? That could kind of make sense, I guess. Observer from Dienmax going inside the main. However, RaNgeD own Observer is actually just looking to run back and defend and kill off Dienmax's, and yep, does pick it off. That's actually a very big deal in PvP. So now RaNgeD is going to have full vision. He knows Dienmax wants to engage here because he has the faster natural. And so Dienmax at the same time has to know everything he's doing is being scouted. So tough position to be in. Ooh, Dienmax does have a couple Reavers looking to drop at the natural though. RaNgeD in position with a couple Dragoons though. Ooh, and it doesn't end up dropping. So that's pretty big. Wow, very well done there. Just having the wherewithal from RaNgeD to have Dragoons in position to defend that. Still not a big committal from Dienmax. Shuttle will be able to limp home. We'll be able to fight another day. And at least Dienmax has map control for now. If I'm Dienmax, the one thing I'm worried about is maybe a speed shuttle Reaver counter from RaNgeD. You know, all units from Dienmax are allocated outside of RaNgeD natural, and there's really not much at home defending. You know, only the shuttle with a couple Reavers, and that's not very good against Reaver drop, just because they don't shoot air. So I'd be interested to see maybe if that's something Austin wants to go for or RaNgeD wants to go for. But nope, just getting a free scout with that Observer. Does see the pickup of the second Reaver. But still, units constantly rallying here outside of RaNgeD natural. RaNgeD was the faster to take Vespian gas. Ooh, okay. Oh, nice big scarab there from Dienmax. Really using this angle well. And yeah, that was so much damage from two Reavers. That's insane. Wow, how much damage just came out of those two Reavers. Even gets a nice connect, you know, as the last one falls, but at least RaNgeD has both Reavers still alive. Even a third one now joining it. Oh wow, even had more Dragoons in the main at the natural, so maybe he held that a little easier than I was thinking. Dienmax, though, looks like he's going to reconsolidate his forces. If you remember game one, he did a lot of counters, like Dragoon counters as soon as he got into a questionable position, so maybe going to opt to do something similar here, I'm not sure. And RaNgeD just taking a page out of Sziky's book, like just doesn't feel like he needs to attack. Maybe that's the right call here. Just take a third base and go from there. Looks like shuttle now being completed here for RaNgeD. Is able to pick up at least two of his own Reavers. Picks off another Observer, just constantly keeping Dienmax in the dark here. Ooh, Observer scouts a good positioning on those Dragoons here of Dienmax. And Dienmax, I don't know, might be forced to push off here. RaNgeD getting his units together inside the center of the map, going for a big arc. Reaver is a little caught out from Dienmax here, and there's no shuttle, right? RaNgeD at least has a shuttle with two Reavers, which is a very big deal. Like, you're able to dodge Scarabs quite a bit more, gives you more mobility with those Reavers, so this is a nice little pickup on top of a pylon here for RaNgeD. And yeah, Dienmax going to run back, try to defend his natural. Ooh, bleeding off a Dragoon. A little, you know, sloppy there from RaNgeD, but still has a commanding lead. And ooh, I thought he was going to open up a chance to maybe harass the natural, but nope. Just decides to keep the shuttle alive, pull back. Likely a good call here. You can't let these units get caught out too much, though, and it looks like that's exactly what Dienmax wants to do. He wants to engage this. And the units are very split here from RaNgeD. Like, very split. Way too split. Oh, no. Man, that wall just completely bungled the movement of these Dragoons here from RaNgeD. He was able to basically run away with the shuttle and get the shuttle Reaver out, but all of these Dragoons now of RaNgeD are just completely caught out. Still no shuttle though from Dienmax for his Reaver. He just doesn't quite have that Reaver mobility he maybe wanted. And now once again RaNgeD's third base is going to be online, which is always scary. Oh, here we go though. Big push from Dienmax. He's decided this is the timing he's been waiting for. I mean, probe counts are so similar, unit counts are so similar, actually completely even. Oh, wow, big counter into the main with a shuttle Reaver, though, from Dienmax. Very well done. But actually, that battery, it looks like, is just doing work for these Reavers. What a nice pickup. And actually, yeah, Dienmax killing off both Reavers now from RaNgeD. RaNgeD still has so many Dragoons top right, they're not moving anywhere. If he brought those home, he might have been able to defend this, but yeah, big damage now being done from Dienmax. We see probe counters at 25 for RaNgeD to the 44 of Dienmax. And yeah, it looks like RaNgeD going to end up going for a big Dragoon counterattack from the 3rd to the 4th base of Dienmax. Ooh, huge Scarab from Dienmax. I think Dienmax will be able to defend this. Yeah, that's more than enough Dragoons. Even pulling probes, even making a cannon. He knows this is all but over. All he's got to do is just defend at this point. So fortunately, you know, RaNgeD able to kill off at least some of the probes of Dienmax here, but maybe actually I don't know. It's a lot of damage all of a sudden, and cannons are not that great versus Dragoons. But yeah, there we go. Reaver, Scarab does end up being able to defend this, and we do have the 3rd base of RaNgeD here, so maybe there's a world where he's able to come back because of that. Either way, though, he's got to split quite a few of those probes back to the main and the natural, just kind of have more of an even saturation. But yeah, we're seeing the probe count even up here fairly quickly. And here we go. Looks like RaNgeD going for some type of a counter. This is a speed shuttle, so if it's able to get in, kill 10 probes or so, and get out, this could be devastating. And oh my gosh, no movement from Dienmax. Probes are not moving at all. This has already done the damage it needed to do. So yeah, very well done here from RaNgeD. Uh-oh. And shuttle makes it out too. Oh no, but there's harassment going on at the 3rd at the same time. I didn't even realize. So shuttle's going to end up making it inside the main here as well. Man, these guys are just butchering each other's probe lines. It's been, I mean, it's never fun to play like this PvP. It's just, I don't know, it's so manic. It's so crazy. Here we go. Big counter as well coming in from Dienmax. Does get on top of that probe line. Looks like RaNgeD was just caught completely out of position for this one. So huge damage being done. But he does surround entirely the forces here of Dienmax. And these final Zealots not really going to be able to do too much here. So maybe RaNgeD has a counter potential timing here. It's going to be very close. Oh, the DT. I didn't even see the DT in the main. 14 kills. Insane damage being done here from the single DT. Looks like another DT killed the third base of RaNgeD. So this is his only shot to get it done here. He's got to win, and he's got to win right now. And here we go. Dragoons starting to engage. Probes being pulled off the line in order to tank for these cannons. Yeah, he's trying to do the best he can to just pick off free probes before having to engage these cannons, but actually a Reaver even coming in here for Dienmax. This might be too much here for RaNgeD. Yeah, just barely holding. No probes left inside the main here of Dienmax. He's finally able to pull some of those probes back. Feels safe enough that he can do so. Meanwhile, RaNgeD trying to retake that natural expansion of his again. So, yeah, this is looking pretty tough. Oh, no! Dienmax using that high ground advantage. Great trade there for Dienmax. There was just no way that was going to work for him. Even getting a third cannon at the natural. So yeah, very well done here. Going out with a few Zealots, I guess just to kind of tank for the rest of these Dragoons. And has legs actually, so wow. Does pick up a Dragoon for his efforts here. And Dienmax once again on top of the supply lead at this game. And oh man, RaNgeD just getting a few too many units caught off guard and caught out here. Does have a Reaver, a couple Reavers even, and a shuttle. So maybe he can press in here, do a little damage, but I'm not sure. It's going to be tough to do so. Oh, another DT counter. Insane. Just so much aggression here coming out of Dienmax. Okay, but still, it does look like RaNgeD going to be able to defend this without taking too much damage. Yep, DT does fall there, but once again, Dienmax just running in, preparing to do more and more damage. Snipes a probe to start things off. But yeah, it looks like the Reavers will be able to hold for now. 2 more Dragoons being produced at that natural. I mean, this has got to be just so frustrating for both these players. They're constantly just countering each other. The fights are going every which way. Oh, we have an Archon even now for Dienmax. Looks like RaNgeD going to try to counter the main with the speed shuttle. Oh, but this time he was prepared. Dienmax has done it. GG is called there from RaNgeD. And Dienmax will actually be the one moving on to face Jimin in the losers finals of Group B. That's going to be our final match here of the day. The decider match to see who moves on to the round of 16 to join Sziky so far in BSL19. So should be good. Yeah, another Zerg versus Protoss. Once again, we got to see both these players play this matchup earlier on, although be it against different opponents. But yeah, Dienmax definitely no slouch. Had a very close series versus Sziky, who you kind of consider, who walked away, victor of this group so far. But he'll have a tough time, I think, with Jimin, who's also no slouch, very, very good, specifically at Zerg versus Protoss matchup. So, yeah, really excited to see how this one's going to go. Yeah. Yep. So game 1 going to be on Vermeer, 4-player map, large map, for good for late game, right? Zerg versus Protoss, Protoss versus Zerg. So yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to see, who ends up facing off with the better build given the map. As we've seen earlier, I think Jimin tends to be that early game aggression. We saw him go 2 hatch muta previously. We saw him go 973, which I think is kind of his strong suit for sure. Whereas Dienmax, we've kind of seen everything from him. We saw the early forge build. We saw 1 gate openers, in a very close set with Sziky. So, I'm kind of interested to see how he'll adjust for a player like Jimin. And yeah, should be a pretty good game here between these two. Jimin and Dienmax, best of 3. As we were saying, game 1 going to be an old school map, 4-player map, Vermeer. So yeah, really excited to see how this one's going to go between these two. Yeah. And there we go. We got Jimin, versus Protoss. I would say probably his strongest matchup. He's very good at it. And then Dienmax kind of plays everything very well. I guess his stats would say that versus Zerg is his weakest, but he's very, very good at it. We saw his early Zealot harass versus Sziky do some significant damage, and that is no easy feat. So
Mr. Mash,
yeah,
what
definitely.
would you say for Zerg expert put on you, Mr. Crossy?
Yeah, I'd be happy to have Crossy join. That'd be good.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, folks. I think Crossy's going to be joining me here on the casting couch, which would be cool. Yeah, I just noticed what Crossy said in the chat. Born in 1905. Definitely the oldest Zerg still competing. Hey, what's up, Crossy?
Hello, Machine. Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Hey, thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to pick your brain, man, and see how you think this series is gonna go between these two. You know a lot about Jimin's play?
I know exactly how he plays, but the way he plays is just totally different than the normal Zerg's play. So,
Sure.
and I'm excited to see. I know he's been practicing a lot because it's a BSL and he wanted to play well. So I'm excited to see how he will play.
Awesome. Okay, well, looks like both of our players are ready to go, folks. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. It's going to be Jimin versus Dienmax on Dominator. All right, spawning top left side of Dominator. As the red Protoss here, we have BSL RaNgeD. Is this this might be the wrong game, right? It's Jimin versus Dienmax. Yeah. All right, we're gonna reboot this here real quick. You're fine, no worries. All right.
We're having a little technical issue here.
Yeah, just load up the wrong one here, but we're gonna get both these folks ready to go. So you said you've been playing with Jimin quite a bit, so like, tell me how accurate this is. Jimin, from the ZVP I see, he does a lot of like really off the wall builds. I think his 973 is really strong, like very, very strong, good control. He will open like 2 hatch muta and transition out of it, or even 9 pool speed. I've seen him go 9 pull speed a lot too. Like all the early heavy pressure builds, I feel like.
Yeah, the way he plays this, his mentor is one of the famous Korean amateurs from Korea. He's like well known
Beast?
for. No.
Oh,
His name is OneFest, but he learned from his style, and he's known for 2-hatch play against Protoss. But what I noticed was Jimin kind of while he's playing, he kind of gained his own knowledge, and he changed the play style from his play style a little bit. So he has his own style of 2-hatch.
okay.
So basically, he goes 2-hatch, and then he goes muta, and then Protoss doesn't have a scout, so Jimin scouts it, and then depends on what Protoss is doing, he can go heavy Hydra and then go into drones, or may go into just Hydra all in, or may make more mutas to finish the game.
I see. Okay, so he kind of adjusts depending upon what he scouts with the 2-hatch muta.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I mean it's not something you see as often as more standard, 3-hatch openers. So I feel like it catches a lot of Protoss off guard.
Especially
Yeah.
when you play in rank, you don't know who you're playing against, especially when he's playing on barcode. However, BSL, everyone knows how he plays. So, and a player like Dienmax, he has his own knowledge and knowledge as well. So even though Jimin tries to mind game him, it might not work against him. So I'm excited to see how his play will work out against Dienmax.
Yeah, I am too, actually. I noticed it felt like although RaNgeD lost, he as well came with some knowledge of how Jimin plays. I like the early second gateway versus Jimin's style, where sometimes if you're expecting to be pressured, you over pressure them early on with zealots just to at least scout out what's happening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it can be good. But yeah.
I know that Jimin is not. Jimin is more comfortable playing against Gate first rather than the Forge first. And DMX is a player who does both of them, so
Yes.
it'll be interesting to see. And
Yeah.
I played DMX a couple weeks ago in the tournament, and he actually really stepped up. He's a really solid Protoss now. So
Yeah, he really is. He's an extremely solid Protoss. I was very surprised to see his games with Sziky. They were a lot closer than I was expecting.
oh
Even taking
did
a
he-
game.
wow,
Yeah, he took one game off of Sziky and had a couple other very close games. So,
wow.
yeah, and even the game he won, Sziky, it was not for sure that he was going to win. Sziky kept it pretty close, but he just had a very strong timing. Sziky was spending too many Hydralists trying to prevent Dienmax from taking a third base.
Mhm.
And Dienmax never did end up taking a third base, but was able to consolidate his Dragoon Zealot army and just counter into Hydra Muta and won with it. So it was very good. It was on Deja Vu, and he used the high ground in the center very well. So yeah,
Nice.
it was good. Yeah, it was very nice.
I should actually go watch the replay.
Yeah, it was a solid game. Never easy to take a game off of Sziky, so it was cool
Yeah.
to see. All right. Well, I think we'll be ready to go here soon. With our final set.
It's DMX against Jimin for the final.
Yeah, Dienmax won the last set versus RaNgeD. Unless he won and then forfeited, I don't know. But yeah, Dienmax did win that last game. Yep. I'm not sure. All right, we're hearing the Jimin played versus RaNgeD after the previous set, RaNgeD versus Dienmax, although Dienmax won, so we're just as confused as y'all. Yeah, I'm not sure why he would play him if Dienmax ended up winning. Well, Not sure.
Drew Touch, you're a cool guy. You know that song?
A True Touch is you're a cool guy. I
Do you know
don't,
that
but
do you know that Up Parked?
no, I guess not. I think True Touch is a cool guy, but
Yeah. Up to date.
no, I guess I'm not familiar.
That's a song made in Korea, which is pretty popular these days, and that's one of the drinking game, which was the motive of the game, of the song.
Okay, to make a
Yeah.
drinking game, that's cool.
All those young people are singing that songs these days.
Oh no way! Yeah, I believe it, man. It's very very popular over there. You know how big K-pop is. Yeah. I went to Korea, actually the Afrika studios earlier this year, and met up with Tasteless and did a little bit of drinking with Tasteless, and that
Oh.
was fun. Yeah, he's always fun to hang out with, man. He's a good guy.
Does he live in Korea?
He does. Yes,
I
he
see.
lives in Korea. Yep. Still, so he's been there for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ever since StarCraft 2 got, or actually no, even before StarCraft 2, when StarCraft 1 was still popular. So over there. So yep, 2008 if I had to guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Korea, but it's always nice to go back to my country, Korea. And last time I went was like 2 years ago, so hopefully I
Do
could
you
visit there soon.
do you play StarCraft when you're over there?
I did. Like start playing StarCraft in 2016. That's when I was in army. And like end of my career in army, like you got nothing to do, and they actually bought the couple computers in army, and then I could only play customs game, no internet there, so I could
Oh,
play against just the people in there, and I start playing StarCraft from at that time, and then I came back to Canada, and then I play game. I really seriously start playing StarCraft after coming back to Canada to go to school. So
that is
yeah,
so surprising.
Mm.
You started playing in 2016,
yeah.
and you're so good. Wow.
I mean I played Terran when I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
When my parents bought a computer, and they the person who came in to build a computer for us to download a game for me, and it was a StarCraft. So I played for like 2 months, and then my parents never let me play game, so I didn't play after that. But I was pretty good. Like when I was that young, I was playing Terran. I like Boxer a lot.
Same.
And,
When I first started playing, I was a Boxer fan, and I played Terran as well. And I only played Terran for, I don't know, maybe 9 months, because I was trying to compete in tournaments even back when I first started playing, and I switched to Zerg. But yeah, Boxer was my favorite, and I definitely tried to just do what he did at the time, which was so good.
Yeah, I should have played Terran after I came back to Canada in 2016.
Yeah, same. Okay, I think we are ready to go, folks. This map is going to be Vermeer here for game one. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into game one. Okay, spawning top left as the gray Zerg, we have BSL Jimin. And spawning top right as the yellow Protoss, from Peru, we have Dienmax.
So Jimin is sending Overload to the opposite direction. No, it's not the opposite direction actually. Yeah, he's getting a first scout, which seems to be a great start from Jimin.
Yeah, it is a really good start. I think it's funny that you said opposite direction, because he is a player that will scout the opposite direction, I feel like, a lot of the time with his first
Exactly.
Overlord.
100%.
I don't do that like very often, if at all. What are the advantages of scouting the wrong way with your Overlord?
Just for me personally, is I hate how Protoss just like moves their probe to 12 o'clock and sees the overloads and comes. I think that's a cheating.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to do
So
that.
not many people do that because he can also backstep them, but some Protoss does that. I really hate that feeling.
Raz
So
does that. Yeah, same.
yeah, yeah. So I always mix up my overload scout.
Okay, I mean, that's a reason for
Yeah,
sure to do it.
probe should do the work that they have to do to see my base, but they're just like trying to save their energy coming to 12 o'clock and try to find where my overload is. So
True, true. It's gonna be early cannon, so no Nexus before cannon. Looks like Dienmax is playing very safe. It looks like Jimin is going to take his natural at the closer third to Protoss. So maybe setting up for less travel time to be aggressive with Hydralisks or something.
yeah, it's definitely probably Jimin is going to hatch Muta build. It seems like, but he built his second base at the third, so probably not a good start for Jimin. He probably wouldn't feel good about it. But he went overpull, so unfortunately he cannot delay his second hatch. It's a huge damage. So he built a second hatchery on third.
Yeah, not a good start, I would say. Uh, yeah, this is going to be quite a fast layer timing though. So
Yeah,
maybe he's able to get something done, but it's going to be very difficult to defend both the main and the third base once there's zealots on the map, I think.
yeah. And when Jimin saw the cannon timing with his overload, he probably felt good about it because Jimin went overpull, but DMX built a cannon first, which is also makes Zergs feel good in the early game.
Yes. Yeah, you know there's no pressure coming your way. You can just drone, drone, drone.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like seeing cannon as well. He also only made 2 Zerglings, so he's been as greedy as he can early on here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, second probe scout from Dienmax. I guess he's just confirming no natural. Well, you should already know, but oh, it was clicked onto the minerals. Okay. I guess he's looking for a Hydralisk den in case it was maybe lurker timing.
Yeah, he's trying to scout, but that's also it doesn't seem that very important, but it's pretty important because when the two probes are out there, and it means two probes are not working at the same time, so it really
Yes.
hurts Protoss eco in the early game. But I think the MX is just rather want to see what Zimin is doing in the early game, even though he has to use those two probes for scout.
Yeah, I guess he wants to just not take any additional risks. Yes, it does hurt to scout with 2 probes, like you said, but maybe it's worth it, for him in the long run. So one thing I say a lot whenever Protoss is facing 2 hatchery Muta is I don't think it's right to move out with your first Corsair because I feel like you need it to defend early on, and it's very easy to pick off versus 2 hatch Muta. But I see a lot of Protoss do that anyway to scout. Do you think that's correct or no?
I guess depends on the situation, but if you think that you can have the cursor alive, then definitely it's worth it to. It's always good to scout because the thing about 2 hatches, Protoss doesn't have any information whether Zerg will go all in or gonna go macro. So even though I have to throw the cursor, I would prefer to see that Protoss trying to scout with their Sair. So
Okay. Well, he does see the Hydralisk den and does see 2 more hatcheries at the natural, so I guess it is worth it, even if he loses this Corsair.
yeah,
He also
normally
scouts
Protoss
5
makes
Muta.
normally Protoss makes goons behind this. So And he built cannons instead of goons, and he's making series. But the thing about this is a typical Jimin play. He goes 4 to 5 mutas here, not and scaring Protoss. But behind here, Jimin will make Hydras to pressure really hard. And after that, if he thinks he can finish, he will finish. If he thinks he cannot finish, he's gonna make drones. But when
Okay.
you look at DMX, he's keep making Sayers, but and two Stargate as well. But when you look at Jimin's base, he probably is not making any more Mutas or Scourges. He's probably making drones and Hydras.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. So maybe the 2-port Corsair is just overcommittal. He maybe only needed 1 and should have got to Storm faster, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
But DMX doesn't have any information right now, so it could be a very dangerous push. DMX is coming right now. This is actually a very risky play from DMX as well, but this will pay off really well because Jimin is not making more Mutas and Scourges. So he's gonna see the Hydra, he's gonna see everything.
He'll probably stop making Corsairs now that he sees it. Ooh,
Yeah.
even gets an Overlord there. That's a nice supply block.
And he should add up some gauge.
There's also another Overlord out on the map. Maybe if he's able to pick that off. Oh, he went straight to it too.
Wow. Maybe
So
he has a
yeah,
second monitor.
yeah, maybe. But no, that's okay. Things are looking okay now for Dienmax. He didn't overcommit, I think, with the Corsairs too. I saw both Stargates stop blinking, and at least these Corsairs will be able to threaten Overlords and defend versus Muta. Wow, is he gonna get 2 more? That's huge. Still supply blocked.
And apparently DMX's Corsair count is perfect. He didn't overmake Corsairs. And Jimin, because he only made 5 Mutas and switched it into Hydras, Jimin still has to worry about Corsair backstab when his Hydras are up there. So it seems a pretty good game for DMX so far, as long as he doesn't lose the Stair like this.
Yeah. Oof. He does pick off all the Mutas, but yeah, now these Corsairs are very bruised and injured. Oh, well, he might be able to get 1 more here. Still has, I think, 5 Corsairs alive. If nothing else, this is very annoying for Jimin. He's having to spend way too much time controlling versus these Corsairs when he wants to attack.
Yeah, so because DMX lost his Stairs, he's making Stairs again because he's scared of Jimin making Mutas. So that's him a lot of gas as well. So if DMX could have the Stairs alive, it could have been better.
I also feel like Dienmax made so many cannons. He maybe should have countered with the Zealots, or just run out onto the map with them and force Zerg to engage the cannons, because he's already spent the money on the cannons, and he's got a lot.
And he does not have any High Templars right now. I don't even know he even has a Templar Cribe right now.
I'm not sure. I think he does, but maybe not.
He
He does. Yeah. Jimin is still supply blocked. Oh, it's the drop timing again. Okay. He likes this Hydra drop timing. But wow! He kills off all the Overlords, and the Zealots got pretty good trades. So I think this worked out really well for DMX.
Yep, and DMX has 6 gauge up there, so he can purely defend Hydras with Zealot now. So this looks really promising for DMX.
I guess it was a good call to remake the Corsairs just to kill Overlords.
Yes.
For the drop or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Forge is not spinning though. He needs to start another upgrade, I think. Do you think Jimin is very all in with this?
Yeah, he's gonna commit. I don't see him making drones from here. I always tell him, just go make drones when you think it's not gonna work, but he's this type of a player. He wants to finish the game. and he's not very confident with macro game as well.
Okay. Okay.
So he will probably try to finish. He'll try to bust the natural, but DMX exactly knows what he's trying to do.
He still does not have any high Templar though. It feels very late. Okay, there's 2 in the main. I didn't see those.
Oh, DMX is supply blocked.
Uh-oh. He might need cannons in the main? Maybe not. Oh, wow. The Overlords were full.
Yeah, Jimin probably prepared this build, but Jimin went 5 Muras, which kind of intention for that is to make Protoss to think that he's gonna all-in with Mura. So if DMX made Corsair and then he went to try to go to drop again, so it kind of doesn't make sense to me. Probably like he thought that DMX wouldn't make Sairs much after seeing those Muras, but DMX actually made the perfect number of Cursors to defend drops.
He did the same build to RaNgeD, and RaNgeD tried to counter with the Corsairs, and he let the Overlords drop inside his main, and the Hydralisks were able to kill off all of the gateways, and so he was able to win because of that. It was the exact same build as this, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so good adjustment from Dienmax, I think. Well,
Yeah,
Jimin
so
is not supply blocked now, at least.
yeah, but the supply is about twice bigger for DMX now. So
Yes.
DMX has keep coming out like this with Zealots, but he doesn't have to. He just has to stay home, make goons, come out with High Templar, and that's GG. But if he keep Bleeds Zealots like this, Protoss will mine out 16th minute or so. So he can't waste his money like this.
Do you think he's getting better at the trades with the Overlord kills?
Yeah, he's killing a lot of overloads right now, but also it's giving Jimin a chance to win because he's also losing his Zealot as well. But it's GG anyways.
Yeah, as GG is called. I like the cannon placement at the corner of the main there. He knew Jimin was just going to keep trying to drop inside the main, so it was a really good call. Yeah. Yeah, with that, Dienmax going to take the first win in the set versus Jimin, but now it'll be Jimin's map pick. And I believe Jimin has picked Apocalypse when he's down most games, so it'll be interesting to see if he picks Apocalypse here against Dienmax.
I know that Jimin loves that map even against Terran as well. It's a very good map to drop the Hydras, and also it's a 3 players map, so you don't have to worry about scouting 3 bases. And you got a high ground as well, so perfect map for Jimin. And as you said, it's Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's a very good. I agree with you. I think it's a very good map for Zerg vs Protoss. I like personally opening 9 hatchery Zerg vs Protoss on this map. Just like you said, 3-player map. You don't have to drone scout, so
yeah,
it can be good. But yeah, with this, both players are ready. So let's jump into game number 2 here of Dienmax versus Jimin. Okay, and spawning at the 12 o'clock location of Apocalypse, we have BSL Jimin. And spawning bottom right, currently up 1-0 in the set, it is Dienmax. Okay. So you were saying you think this is a good map for Hydralisk drop. I also think so too. There's a lot of neutral ground outside the main. It's a low ground main too, so it's really difficult to scout drops coming, I think.
Yeah, Jimin would have loved more if Protoss's base was at 7 o'clock because the drop path is so good. that way. But still, he's getting a first scout, and he's sending a drone out. It's probably gonna be a 9 hatch.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I really like this opener on this map in particular.
And Dienmax is going Forge first again.
Sometimes Protoss players will scout the 9 hatch and try to go for a cannon rush, thinking it's you know, a 12 hatch or something like that. But it's a little easier to defend, I think.
Yeah, that's what Jimin has been saying. I have personally never done 9 hatch before, so I don't know how it works against the cannon rush, but as a 11 hatch 12 hatch, it's so hard to defend cannon rush these days. That's why like Zerg is forced to go overpull. But Jimin once mentioned that if you go 9 hatch, it's very easy to defend cannon rush. So I think DMX is trying to do cannon rush. No, it's not.
Yeah, I think it's a fake. Yeah, he knows. He must know the hatchery timing. You know, he can't cannon rush. Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't tried it, you should try it. You'd be very good at 9 hatch versus Protoss on 3-player maps like this. Yeah.
Yeah, only thing at the 4 players map is when I send another drone out, I felt like I'm so poor doing that. And when I go, yeah, if they're going gate first, that's fine because I don't have to go gas early. But if they go forge first, I have to go gas early, and then in that case, I get too poor. But yeah, as you said, 2 players map, 3 players map, I don't have to scout, and I get a scouting information pretty quick, so it's probably worth a try.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a try. I see players like Queen and Sulky do the same build on 3-player maps. So, this is more Zerglings. This is 8 Zerglings. He's hiding some very clearly in the main too. So maybe he's going for Zergling speed pressure.
Yeah, DMX's probe just has to stay in front of natural. The place where he's in right now is quite dangerous. He doesn't have to see anything in main, but the probe just has to be on in front of the natural to see that link flood. But the probe is out of position, but DMX knows. He has a probe there. He definitely has a second monitor.
Yeah, yeah. He or I guess maybe he just really knows Jimin. But yes, he's. Oh, looks like Zerglings are running into the cannon right now. But I think it was defended. Yes. Probes were pulled. He needs to block with probes. He sees so many Zerglings. He has to know.
More Zerglings are coming.
Yeah, there's no more drones being built. It's just 10 drones. Wow.
Oh my.
It's all down to this, I guess. Oh, he forgot to research Zergling speed. He had Zerglings. He just that is too late. He's had 100 gas much earlier, but he didn't research Zergling speed. Uh-oh. Maybe it will still work because Dienmax won't expect it so late. It's only 2 cannons. Oh, come on. You see so many Zerglings, Dienmax. What are you doing? I guess he doesn't see speed, so maybe he's not concerned. Which would be very funny.
Wow, just keep making links, like...
I think maybe this will work for Jimin, maybe. Oh, okay, there's the 3rd cannon being built. He needs to pull every single probe.
Oh, that one probe between the gate and force, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that was a little dangerous.
Oh.
Maybe if he doesn't send all of his Zerglings. Oh, he blocked it with the Zealot. Wow.
Yeah, he just has to block there. Yeah, it's GG.
Wow. Wow.
DMX played perfect. He exactly knows how Jimin plays.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he I guess the scouting probe, he must have just recognized it was so many Zerglings. Maybe if Jimin had speed a little earlier, he could have made something happen there, but yeah. As is, it looks like Dienmax will be the second player to make it out of the group, so he'll be joining Sziky in the round of 16. Yeah, very well done. Well, with that, folks, that's our last match of the day. So yeah, that was pretty cool. We got to see a Zerg and a Protoss make it out of Group B so far. I always like watching Sziky play. I'm, very excited to see him, play some games and coming up in the round of 16. And congratulations to Dienmax as well. I know this was a really tough group with some, very good players in Jimin and RaNgeD as well. So, big congratulations to him to make it out. But yeah, Crossy, thank you so much for joining me, saving me with your Zerg knowledge here at the end of today's broadcast, man. I hope we get to commentate more in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a fun watching 2 games, ZVP, and hopefully I can guest more with you in future.
I'd love to, man. Yeah, your Zerg knowledge and StarCraft knowledge is very missed, man. I always catch your streams whenever I can. So, thanks for being a part of the community, dude. And hope we get to do this again soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we take off for the day, folks, I just wanted to give a big thanks to all of our sponsors and all of our BSL supporters here. Obviously, we are back. BSL19. We hit our goals. Thank you to Liquid Nazgul and Steve as well for supporting this season of BSL at the last minute. Gotta give the big shout out to CRVT with the $2,000 donation to start off the day. Today of all days, what a huge contribution there. Always a big giver. And yeah, a big supporter of the BSL and the StarCraft scene. But yeah, we also have some other big supporters as well. The Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, I like how we changed the Patreon levels here. The Wolf of Wall Street, Andrew, $200 a month. I love it. $100 a month here. Bombastic General level. We have My Fleeting Dream. At the Colonel level, $50 a month, we have Striker. At the Bombastic Major Plus level, $30 a month, we have Tim and Tupacalypse. At the Major level, $20 a month, we have Yujang, Medinho, always a supporter, Stephen Robertson, KJ Streaming Channel, Daniel Lopez, LML, Nicholas Schuler, and Scheming Gypsy. And yeah, plenty more supporters as well, folks. If you want, if you're a big fan of the BSL and you want to see us season to season, please, get on the Patreon and give us your support if you can. And I believe it's up to the $10 a month level if you want to grab all of the BSL replays season over season. It's definitely worth contributing just to get those replay packs and just to study and see what the top of the top StarCraft players are doing at the moment. So yeah, I know I'm always a big fan of being able to get my hands on some good replays. So yeah, definitely something worth doing if you're trying to improve your game. But yeah, with that, folks, I think that's going to be it for us today here. I'm Machine. I'll be commentating once again this season of BSL. So thank you all for tuning in today. Want to give a big shout out to Crossy here for joining me with and us with his insight. It was a pleasure commentating this last set with you, man. And if you have anything you want to say, just let everyone know. Or I don't know if you're gone.
Happy Saturday. Have a great weekend, and look forward to another BSL matches tomorrow. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning.
Right on. Yeah, I'll be there as well. I believe tomorrow's commentaries lineup's going to be myself and Medinho. So yeah, if you guys like what you see, definitely tune in tomorrow for some more BSL action. And I gotta say, big congratulations to ZZZero. Literally made it, wife had a kid today, still managed to make it back and turn the stream on in time to give us all the BSL action we all want to see. Yeah, and he's once again a dad over once again. So big congrats to Zero, and yeah, really happy for you, man.
Yeah, congrats, Zero. Right.
Yep. So with that, folks, we are going to be taking off here. See ya.
Have a
And everybody starts to move as soon as Paździor starts to play. Paździor